latest updates for Touch7 Photo. We have been working on the source image color removal section. So these are the algorithms that takes your spot color that you generate and removes it from the original image that you have. So first of all, we always say that when you're running the source color removal buttons that you need to really save a copy of your file because it has to flatten any layers. It cannot do the source removal on individual layers, it has to be a composite image. So be aware, we normally do recommend that you duplicate the image, which go to image and duplicate and work from that. So you always have your original backed up layered file. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to run through the pink button as we did before. And as we normally recommend, go into your channel, and if you want to, then boost it up. Now, as we quite often tell people, pink is a shade of magenta. So when it's separating out the magenta pixels, it's only going to give you a tint of pink. It's not going to give you a full solid. Whereas when you're printing with a spot color, a solid area will be a solid amount of pink. So this is why we do recommend that you use your levels. Starting with the shadow point and just move it up to around about the start of this histogram here. You can also use auto tone. So if you go to the image adjustments, auto tone area here, and that will balance it for you automatically. Now, from there, go back into your RGB image, and as before, we would normally click the pink SCR button, but I'm just going to duplicate this image where we're at now so I can show you the difference between the new algorithms. So let's just take one image and put it on the side here, and let's move this out of the way so we can now see what we're actually doing on the screen. So we have two identical images. Spot colors on and off here, you can see. So let's just turn the spot colors off so we can see what's happening to the actual RGB. So the image on the left, we're going to use the original SCR button. So on the other screen, I'm actually going to click that button and you'll see what it did to the image. Now, when I run this through the new SCR button, on the one on the right, you'll see that the image separation is far superior. Now, to see this correctly on the screen, let's go to the image mode LAB. Now we use LAB because LAB is all-encompassing and it doesn't change the image quality. Whereas if I was in RGB and I converted it to CMYK, it's going to clip that image data down. But always remember to go back to your original file format. Okay, so back on here, do the same one, image mode LAB. So you can see, obviously around here, if we just take a look at the lips and the eyes, forget about the feather for now, the image separation is far superior. So we've been working on the algorithms pretty intensively over the past 6 months to make sure that this gives you an absolutely perfect replication of your image. So from there, we're going to save the files, but we're actually going to do a few more just to show you how those actually work. So again, we're going to do this image, we're going to run it through the pink separations, we're going to auto tone the levels, I'm going to duplicate that image, and then I'm going to put it at the side so I can do a side-by-side comparison. The image on the left, as before, we'll run it through the original SCR button. The image on the right will do the new SCR button. So let's have a look underneath the hood, what's happening to the RGB image. You can see here that the color data is actually working far superior on here, whereas on the other image it's blocking it out quite a lot and it's making it look a little bit harsh. So again, let's just turn these to LAB so you can see the visual difference. Let's see LAB on that one. So superior image quality separations with the new SCR buttons. We're actually going to do some more complicated images now. We're actually going to work with something that's got a heck of a lot of screening in here. So where would you start to be able to make the masking on this image? If you were to do this manually, typically you would have to create an image in, say, CMYK, pull out the magenta separation, but then the magenta is going to be in lots of different tonal areas in the skin, and how do you create this nice smooth transition between all these different areas of pixels? So we're picking some very, very, very complex images here to prove how sophisticated the Touch7 plugin is. So as before, we're going to run it through the pink algorithm button for Touch7. I'm going to balance our separations. I'm going to duplicate that image, so I've now got two, so I can show you a before and after using the two different updated algorithms. Just let me pin that to the side. So as before, the one on the left, I'll use the original pink SCR. The one on the right, I'm using my new one. So let's turn off the RGB. You can see that the color data looks quite strange in here, but it's actually a lot more accurate. So let me just turn this back on into LAB so I can show you what it looks like. And LAB on this one. So you can see the separation quality on this image is nowhere near as superior as the algorithms on this one here. So that's really pushing the boundary of how far we can take this image separation tool. You all have annual licenses. All these updates are free of charge as part of your licensing. Last one, we're going to go a little bit complex with lots of different shading in there. Same thing as before, run through the pink button and duplicate the image after you've done your image balancing. I'm just going to pin this to the side again. Let me just make this a bit bigger in the image window. So on the image on the right, we're going to use the new algorithm. Image on the left, we use the old algorithm. So let's turn off the spot channel so you can see again all the shading, all this detail is being retained. We have a far superior image separation algorithm now. And let's just turn that into LAB again. And you'll see the difference. You now have a photorealistic image separation but printed with the neon toners or inks on your press without affecting all the skin tones and all the different tonal regions of the image that does not have pink pixels inside there. So that's what we've been working on. We hope you like the update and let us have your feedback. We also have this available on the ECG as well, so all of our plugins have new updated source colour removal buttons. Thanks for your time and let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you very much. Goodbye.